So in my years as a healing coach, which is now nearly a decade, I began identifying behavioral patterns that held injured people back in their healing process. And I created my model, the Mindful Injury Recovery Design, based on these observations. And it's one of the central points in my book, Heal Beyond Expectations, that you can get on Amazon. But why I'm talking about this is because the whole episode 22 of my podcast, the Mindful Injury Recovery Talks, is dedicated to this, for you to understand yourself better, or if you're a medical professional, to understand your clients, your patients better. And we are going to go deep into the model, into the 4 spaces. But here I'm going to briefly talk about so that you get a feel for it. And then I invite you to tune in. The link is below, somewhere here. It's somewhere, it's there. Tune in. I'll see you there. Now, let's talk about these 4 rooms and the model. So the 4 rooms are where people spend the most time. Injured people spend the most time. And the reason why I decided to choose rooms and house is because the house actually represents your whole body or your whole life. And rooms are in the same way as you are moving from one space to another in your home, you can internally rotate or go from one room to another in this model. And you might not be aware of it, but you've been doing this for such a long time. But now what is important is to bring this to your awareness so that you can then choose where you want to spend your time. And why do you want that? Because I'm sure that you don't want to be in those rooms where healing is not abundant or is very scarce, but you want and you desire to be somewhere where you can heal better, where you can heal faster. So we're going to look into this clear map of how to get from point A to point Z, complete recovery, abundance, because you want this, right? So if you want this, continue, or even better, click, and I'll see you in episode 22. Now, 4 rooms. The first room I call the dungeon. And the people who spend their time here, we say that they have victim mentality. And in a way, their suffering is also their comfort zone. So it's no wonder that not many people who are in the dungeon ask for my help. And probably it's because I'm very clear of what my clients have to be willing to do, right? Going a bit out of the comfort zone, but also deal with the things that are holding them back. So this is, in a way, no one wants to be in the dungeon, but in reality, here and there, we all slip into this victim mentality. And, it's a normal process of life, but what we need, or sometimes what we need, is just that wake-up call that brings us from this room to another. The second room I call the study. And people here are researchers. They spend a lot of time on the internet. Since you're watching this video, tuning into this episode, I'm not saying that you are in the study. Thank goodness that we met this way, right? But people who are here, yes, they spend a lot of time on the internet, going through medical journals, pages, researchers, trying to find as much information as possible about their condition. But also what is holding them back is that they don't really believe that a lot of things can change, mostly because what they find on the internet is not really positive. So they're a bit, yeah, I want to do it. I want to find all the information that is possible, but actually what I'm finding is kind of negative. So probably this is kind of it for me, and I kind of have to figure out how to live with this condition that I have. The third space I call the bathroom. So people here spend a lot of time in front of the medicine cabinet where all these lotions and potions live. So people in this space, in this room, are the magic pill hunters. And they believe that they just have to find that solution, that one thing that will help them. And this solution is out there somewhere. They just have to search for it. And honestly, advertisers love this kind of people because they can sell them anything. But the problem here is that the people in the bathroom, they are always looking for the solutions outside of them. They are very rarely looking internally. But there is only one true magic pill, and this is you. So the solution is not outside, but it's inside. More about this in the whole episode 22. And then we have the garden. And people here understand that whatever has happened for them, not to them. And the garden is a place of abundance, is a place of healing, is a place where so many great things happen. And people here also understand that, it's their responsibility to make this work, or to also sometimes just to surrender to the whole process. But it's here are just a few words how to identify yourself, whether you are in the garden or whether you are going to step into the garden. More about this in the whole episode, because it is truly important to know how to get to here, because this is the space where I'm guiding my clients to, and where I hold space for them to heal in an incredible way. And they are really courageously taking steps forward to achieve this. So these are the 4 rooms, the 4 spaces of my model. And as I mentioned before, this is not static. So even if right now you figure out that maybe you are in the dungeon, excuse me, in the dungeon, in the study, in the bathroom, this doesn't mean that within a week or maybe within a day, you cannot step into the garden. So you can move between these rooms as well as slip back into something, like I mentioned before, into the dungeon or into the study or into the bathroom. So what is important is to know how to stay and how to navigate toward the garden and how to stay there, because the more time you spend there, the easier the whole healing journey it is, and the more positively your body reacts to all of this. So quickly about these 4 spaces, about these 4 rooms. For more, click the link, tune into episode 22, and I'll see you there.